Greetings, everybody, and welcome to 4K4U, episode 24. We're back. That's right.
We is.
Welcome, yes, everybody. With us tonight, of course, is my co-pilot, Valiant Renegade. How you doing?
Doing good. As always, good to be back live at 5 on a Wednesday. Good to see everybody for 4K discussion.
Awesome sauce. And here for support and backup, the one, the only Greg. How you doing?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing the best
I can.
Too. That's right. Greg's got some news and rumors for us, and we're going to talk a little Real Genius today. That was the surprise announcement, kind of out of nowhere.
Real Men of Genius. Oh, wait, not that one.
I have those CDs, actually. I love those. Anyhow, good afternoon and good evening. Welcome, everybody. Please hit that like button. Share out the stream. Speaking of, I should probably do that myself. Let's see here. Tweet. I didn't already. And yeah, so greetings, everybody. It's been a heck of a week. We got some announcements and some rumors to go over. So we're not going to waste too much time. And then if we got some time, we'll go through your guys' questions and comments as we go along here. Can always send in a super chat as well. But yeah, so welcome, Kronos. We got the Batman here, the Batman. We got Cosmic Squirrel here. Dr. Coffin Nails is here. Coffee Lovers here. Just Nova's here. Who else we got? We got Cheese Factor. Hitchhiker 42 is here. Seika is here. John Cipolla or Capola. I don't know if it's Capola or Cipolla, but sorry. Might even be Chipola. Like Chipotle. Duck Nation's here. D-Bud Martin's in the house. Welcome, everybody. Morgan King, glad to see you here. Dragon Master, everybody, hit that like button. Please share out the stream. I see Theliato in the chat as well. Welcome, guys. So, Greg.
Yes.
Let's get started. What do you got for us for, where do you want to start today? Do you want to start with some rumors or do you want to start with the news?
We can go to if you want to get into like to big rumor for like horror fans, maybe if you want to get into that first, but there is some Criterions or whatever you want to go first. So I'm ready.
Let's do some rumors first before we get into the actual news, since that'll lead us back around to Real Genius.
All right. Well, if you haven't guessed, it looks like we may be getting at least Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, and Halloween H2O from Scream Factory this October on 4K.
Not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising. I had a feeling we'd at least get these two. I don't know about the other ones yet. We'll see how that plays out. But Daniel Farrens, he's a horror director and everything. He recently posted on his Facebook that he did a commentary with actress Maureen Hagen for Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, and hinted that it was for Scream Factory 4K in Halloween, around Halloween time of this year. So that, and then I saw earlier today, it looks like Halloween H2O is a part of that. So that's the big, like if you want to complete your Halloween, at least from the original timeline type collection, there's that for this October.
I got to imagine Halloween 8 will probably be among those eventually here, because those are all Miramax titles anyway. Yeah. So
I mean, I'm not too keen on Resurrection, but yeah, it'll probably be not long after those two, or probably at the same time, really. So
we
that
might
was
get
like,
another little box set, I bet.
yeah, you never know. They might put it all together after they release them all.
Like, would give us posters and all that stuff like they did the last time. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, probably. But that was like the big Halloween. Like, if you want to finish
Yeah.
off your Halloween news, there's that, and I think that's like the biggest rumor I found. That's like the only thing I really heard about. So, rumor wise, but also 1983's Videodrome from David Cronenberg. It has been restored in 4K by Arrow Films under the supervision of James White and James Percy at Silver Salt from the original camera negative and intermediate element. So no release date on that, just said it's possibly coming soon.
That's a nutty movie. You ever seen that one, Valiant?
Wait, which one?
Videodrome.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's
That's a weird one.
crazy.
It's a Cronenberg movie.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the like the biggest rumor ones. What do you want to get into next?
Well, let's get in some news. I know Trancers
Yes.
was one that was brought up. I don't know who's exactly releasing it. If it's coming directly from Full Moon, it looks like. I'm not sure.
It looks like it's coming from Full Moon. I did see them posted on their actual, their Twitter and their Instagram. But also, like
which means that Full Moon would be jumping into 4K, which could be interesting.
Yes, and like I talked to you a while back, there was a German company who said they were restoring Trancers.
Yes, I remember you saying that, and
so
I'm curious if that means like the Puppet Masters might be, next in line, maybe, or something like that. But
I would say, I mean, like Trancers and
at least
Puppet
the
Masters,
first three.
like, yeah, that's like their biggest of the biggest. So it wouldn't surprise me if we get Puppet Masters, at least the first three, like you said, on 4K. But yeah, it looks like Full Moon is releasing Trancers themselves, but it could be the scan from that German company, which looks like they'll probably also release it too down the road.
All right. So what else? What else we got for news?
Let's see, where was I? Do you want to go over the Criterion ones that was just announced?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and give us the list of the Criterion ones.
Coming to 4K in September, Brian De Palma's Blowout, starring John Travolta and Nancy Allen, is coming.
That's one of Tarantino's favorite movies.
Yes. I didn't he like do the commentary on the Blu-ray or something?
He may have, actually. I wouldn't be surprised.
I know he did something with it at one point in time. Could be on the DVD.
Looking on this here, I don't see his name anywhere on here, but he may have on an earlier disc. I know somebody who'd know, and but yeah, offhand, I don't see it here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yes. But yeah, like I said, I heard it. I like you said, I know he's a huge fan of it. I wasn't sure. I just remember hearing he did something about it. Mm-hmm. And the other Criterion ones, I'm not really sure. I don't know much about them, but a movie called Exotica from 1994 is coming to Blu-ray in September from Criterion.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, not familiar with that. Like Sean Baker and Shi Ching Sao's Takeout. I don't know that one.
Yeah, that one's not ringing any bells.
Sound of Metal, a film by Darius Martyr from 2019. And I think that's about it for the Criterions. Yeah. Like I said, Blowout was the big one there that I saw a lot of people get excited for. R&B was one of them. So.
And then, in case you missed it last week, the Ray Liotta Classic is coming to Blu-ray. What the hell's the name of it now? Just No Escape. It just escaped me. It just escaped me. It's No Escape.
My mind.
Yes. And the other one I saw that was kind of interesting was Disturbing Behaviors coming from MEAD. I don't know if you remember that one, Valiant. That would have come out when we were roughly high school age.
I remember the name. Now I'm trying to remember the movie. Let me go look it up, and it'll probably ring a bell if I see a poster.
Yeah, well, it came out right in the wake of Scream.
Yes.
It was about the disturbed teens.
And I'm glad MVD is releasing it because I actually like this movie, and the original Blu-ray release is going for like $80 a pop. So.
Well, outside of that, I guess, was there anything else besides?
As if they haven't released the Jurassic Parks enough, they're releasing a big 6-movie 4K collection of Jurassic Parks, the new
in
one.
the steel books. Yeah, I saw that.
So there's that.
But I think it's the same transfers they've had.
I'm sure it is, which I'm not too keen on. But
do we lose him?
We might have lost.
no,
him.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I thought you said
Your cut was abrupt, and it was like we just
Sorry about that.
again. Okay.
No, I was just see
Yeah,
if there was anything else before we get to. Go ahead, Valiant.
The James Marsden, Katie Holmes. I'm like, yeah. Okay, I vaguely remember it. It's probably been this movie came out.
Yeah, it would have been one of
98.
her earlier ones too. Yeah, that was
1998. That's probably the last
Dawson
time I saw
Creek's
this
era.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh, big time Dawson Creek era.
when they had crush on her around that time.
I've been, one thing I've been thinking about looking at this movie from that same era is Cruel Intentions. I'd love to get a
Yeah, they had that one, and the Killing Mrs. Tingle was another one at that time. Or
I
whatever.
remember that one.
Or Teaching Mrs. Tingle. They ended up changing the title too.
Yeah.
Then they had, I know they have on here like The Faculty and all that came out around.
The Faculty was the other one too. Yeah,
that was a great one. I know that didn't get a lot of love, but it's funny because that is one of the horror movies that, my wife actually enjoyed, and she does not like horror films. But I remember because we've been dating, including marriage and dating together since late '98. So that's when all this stuff was coming out.
Oh yeah.
So,
now The Faculty, that was the one with Robert Patrick, right?
Yes.
And
That's
Josh Hartnett. Now that one was the
Josh
better
Hartnett
one.
was in there,
See, that one to me was the better one than the Teaching Mrs. Tingle one. I didn't hate that.
Do you remember who directed that one?
Which one?
The Faculty.
The
Book of Boba Fett.
Well, was it Robert Rodriguez?
Robert Rodriguez, yep.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I remember that, yeah. Because it's a Miramax Dimension film.
And that's another one that could use a Blu-ray release, but like you said, it's Miramax Dimension, so who knows?
Paramount might do something with it.
That Blu-ray is going for a lot of money as well.
If that's the case, then Paramount probably will. That might be a Kino title.
That would be nice.
That would be that would fit with their repertoire. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of, we do have a little bit more info on that. Let me bring this up here. I threw that in the. Here it is. For the Paramount deal, we got a little bit more of a breakdown here. And now we already know about Tropic Thunder, and of course Escape from Alcatraz. But this is the breakdown as far as the amount of movies we're getting. 1940s, we're going to get 2 movies from that era. 14 movies from the 50s, 12 movies from the 60s, 17 movies from the 70s, 9 movies from the 80s, 8 movies from the 90s, and 3 from the 2000s. And of course, one of those 3 has already been announced with Tropic Thunder. So in case those were curious what the Paramount deal with Kino Lorber is, the breakdown as far as that's kind of an idea on where to pull from. And I have a feeling I know a couple of them already because I just got my import of The Warriors from Imprint. Now, that looks like it's an older print, but like that's a movie that's gotten the director's cut released on Blu-ray here, but not the theatrical cut on Blu-ray. The theatrical cut's only been on DVD. So that's when I could see Kino doing a 4K of both versions and releasing that one.
That plays.
Yeah, see. And some of the other ones they did maybe, like The Odd Couple 1 and 2. I just brought in from Australia's import deal. Or imprint, imported imprints box set of those. So those are also titles I could see getting the 4K treatment. At least the first Odd Couple anyway. And Odd Couple 2 has never been released on Blu-ray here, so that would qualify. And I think they mentioned that some of the imprint titles were going to be among the Kino Lorber ones. I don't know if you remember that too or not, Greg, but...
yeah, I think I remember hearing that, yeah, some of the imprint ones, yeah. That'd be, it's interesting. This still is something that I'm keen to learn more about, to see what they got planned. So it's nice to know now that like how many we're getting from each like sort of decade, so we can kind of play a guessing game.
Well, in the 70s Paramount didn't have a shit ton of movie during the 70s, but they had some big ones. Yeah. And obviously they've already released The Godfather in 4K and stuff like that. But what the door has opened now to is like Death Wish in 4K.
That would be nice to go along with the new Vinegar Syndrome Part 2 one.
Yeah, Rosemary's Baby maybe in 4K. I've been hearing a lot of, we already heard rumors and talk about Saturday Night Fever in 4K. Now that's one I could see Paramount doing on their own. Because that's a big enough title that I could see them putting that out there on their own.
Yeah.
But because we just brought, we talked about From Dusk Till Dawn earlier, and somebody just brought that up in the chat. Kronos did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the Robert Rodriguez one too. Now that's a big enough one I could see Paramount doing on their own.
Now,
But it also fits in with Kino, so yeah.
Yeah, and I do remember actually of October last year, they said Robert Rodriguez had supervised the 4K scan of From Dusk Till Dawn, and it was actually up. Go ahead.
Now that I think about it, they said there is going to be no Miramax or Dimension titles in that deal.
Oh, that's right. They did say that, didn't they?
Yeah, so that one will have to be one that Paramount does on its own.
Yeah,
Xanadu could be one of those. I think Paramount owns that one, don't they?
Yeah.
That could be one. Anyway, you were going to say another one, Greg.
No,
sorry.
I was going to say, like, October of last year is when they said that, they had it, like, it was announced on a couple websites and it was actually up on Target for a pre-order at one point in time From Dusk Till Dawn, and then it just kind of just disappeared.
I think that was prior to when did Paramount? Oh no, the Paramount had to buy them.
Yeah, it was right after like the Scream was released or announced or something.
Yeah, because when they got involved is when the new Scream movie happened, so it had to at least been a year or so, more than that. It's almost 2 years ago when Paramount bought them. So it's probably coming. They're just probably hit a delay bump.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big title came out of nowhere was Sony announcing Real Genius. I'm not even sure. Has Real Genius ever even gotten a flat out Blu-ray release before? I think it's only gotten
I don't think so.
a DVD release, and that's it.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, I don't remember ever getting a Blu-ray myself.
It's like
unless it was one of those Twilight Time. Was it one of the Twilight Time releases? Maybe. If it has, that's the only way I can see it. If you guys, I don't know if you know who Twilight Time is, but they're a little boutique label that did a bunch of Sony titles, including like La Bamba and Fright Night and stuff like that. Yeah, MOD Blu-ray only. Okay, well, I don't know about I never saw it as either, so I don't know for sure. But so this is kind of a big deal for some people because I know a lot of people have been wanting this one for a while. Now, Valiant, are you I got to imagine you're a fan of Real Genius.
It has been ages since I have watched that film. But yeah, I mean, look, that was kind of like, when did that movie come out? Was it like 2 or 3 years after Top Secret?
It might have been a year after, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
85 is when it came out.
Yeah, Top Secret was 84.
Yep.
So yeah. Because I remember the first exposure I had to that kind of that weird side of Kilmer was I remember seeing Top Secret as a kid. My friends were like, "Oh, you got to watch this movie." It's like that Kentucky Fried Movie, all the weird stuff that you would have to sneak behind your parents' back to watch. And I remember watching that, and then we watched Real Genius around that same time. So I was probably like 8, 9 years old. It was after the movie came out.
Directed by Martha Coolidge.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's getting a new Dolby Atmos and 5.1 remix. Reviewed and approved by director Martha Coolidge, and the original stereo track. 4K transfer. New balloon chair deleted scene plus raw takes montage. TV version of the film, so much like the Ghostbuster and Stripes release, it's getting the TV cut added to it, probably in standard def. And then a commentary with the director, and there you go. That's the package. So I don't know if there's much else going to be added to it. That sounds like the final announcement on that. But it sounds like it's already going to be coming out on September 13th, so that one kind of snuck in under the radar there. Kind of a neat poster there. I like that.
Yeah. It was surprising. It took me by surprise when I saw that. I was like, I did not expect it. I mean, Val Kilmer's sort of having a bit of a renaissance. So we just got like Valiant Mints, and we got Top Secret on Blu-ray.
Finally on Blu-ray. Yeah,
finally on Blu-ray. Now we're getting Real Genius on 4K. It's just like, heck yeah, I can't wait. It's two of his greatest movies.
Yeah, and this one was on cable constantly back in the day.
I remember seeing it on Comedy Central like 100 times.
You know what's funny about this movie is I had, I don't know how many movies VHS taped, but you know, like when you're gone, you have to set the timer. Yeah. And sometimes they would be off by like 5 minutes, you know, you catch the last 5 minutes of another movie. I had, I don't know on how many different tapes, the last 5 minutes of Real Genius, the popcorn bit. in front of I don't know how many different movies, at least 4 or 5. Like that's how many times this thing was on cable constantly.
Yes.
When we talk about movies being on cable, yeah, that's one thing. No, this one was on all the time. So yeah, I had the ending of that movie on I don't know how many tapes. I mean, I had the movie also, but it was fun. Has kind of a Revenge of the Nerds kind of vibe to it in a way, but a little bit more kind of like Revenge of the Nerds meets Ghostbusters almost, but without the paranormal stuff in it. It's a very fun film. Definitely comes from that era, and hopefully it's a very good transfer. Looking forward to that one.
I mean, it's got that. Oh my God, his name just escaped me. He's also in Ghostbusters. This man has no.
The bad guy. Yeah.
The bad guy.
Atherton, or I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat will.
He's really great in that movie too.
He was also in Biodome. Yeah.
Yes.
It has Walter Peck in it. Yeah, we're trying to think of his name, his real name. It's like something William Atherton. That's it. I knew his last name.
William Atherton. Yeah,
that was his last name. Yeah, I was just about to say it, and D-Bud Martin beat me to it. Hitchhiker 42 sent in a super chat and says, 1 year ago, it was announced that Studio Canal was releasing Near Dark in 4K and Highlander 10 months ago. Still waiting on both, yet Red Sonja comes out. Well, we haven't got it yet, but Red Sonja is supposed to come out. Highlander, I think they're holding that off for when the new movie comes out. Because that one's been done for a while. Like that last Blu-ray we got of Highlander comes from a 4K master. Mm-hmm. Near Dark, it may just be a rights thing they're working out between Studio Canal and whoever over here, because Shout, I think, released the last version of that, if I'm not mistaken. So it could be just and Near Dark, I think, is under a bunch of different companies as far as its who owns what and license wise. So hopefully Near Dark and Highlander are coming soon, but I wouldn't expect Highlander much sooner than when we finally learn when Henry Cavill's Highlander's coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing about Near Dark. I actually did a video on that. I think that was about a year or two ago as well.
Well, so was Highlander supposed to be coming out, and that was actually officially announced by Arrow.
Yeah.
We just never got an actual date out of it, and we're still sitting here waiting on it. So I don't know if that could very well, but they're just sitting there waiting for Clive Barker to sign off on him, because didn't he direct both of those, or did somebody else direct Near Dark? I can't remember.
It was what's her name? Cameron,
you're right. It was
Cameron's ex-wife.
Yeah.
What is her name?
I know who it is.
She won
too,
Oscars and everything. She did Point Break, and she did with Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner.
Is it Bigelow or the other one I'm thinking of?
It might be Bigelow. I think her name's Bigelow.
Yeah, you're right. You're right on that one. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I can't remember her name. Catherine Bigelow.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
I don't know on Near Dark on that one then. That one's hard to say. Sometimes I think it's a matter of just getting certain people to sign off on these things, finding the time to release them in certain spots.
Yeah.
Maybe they're waiting on sign off for certain special features. You'll have that sometimes. I don't know if Valiant has any other takes. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Oh, I was going to say, it was weird because, like I said, I did a video on that about a year or two ago, and then not long after that, they released it on Shudder for the first time streaming anywhere, because it's never been on streaming ever till then. So
and I know Bill Hunt pretty well. I talked to Bill. The only thing with him is he don't deal in rumors. He only deals in news. So once in a great while, if he gets an okay to put out a rumor, if he's doing it, then that means it's more than a rumor.
It's not a bad thing.
No, but that just means that he's not really putting a rumor out there per se. It's a fact. It's just he can't say that it's a fact yet, basically. But he usually won't run to the press with something unless he gets the okay. So, but yeah, Bill's good as far as and that's Bill Hunt to the Digital Bits. So if people are wondering who we're talking about. The Digital Bits is probably the beginning, the topmost of the popmost, that's where you follow. That's official news kind of place. I mean, we're semi-official news. That's about the closest I would say.
We gather it together and present it to you in a nice package.
Oh, wow. Deep Throat is getting a 4K 50th anniversary edition. I wonder if Vinegar Syndrome will get their hands on that one. That's right up their alley. They've done some porn in 4K already. Yeah.
Don't tell Runner. He'll be going through that.
What? Why wasn't I told about this? Speaking of, catch us tonight talking about
physical media.
Physical media. I watched Morbius.
No,
Has anybody else here seen Morbius?
no.
No.
Did you?
That came out. I morbed. Totally morbed. Well, it was supposed to come out Tuesday, and FedEx guy dropped it off Sunday. I'm like, what the fuck? FedEx on a Sunday? Not only that, it was Morbius 2 days early.
They just wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just like,
Yeah.
get this shit out of here. We can't have this in the
It's
fucking
attracting
warehouse.
rats and cockroaches in the warehouse.
I'll tell you though, as far as cheesy B movies go, this is one of the best. It's definitely like it feels like a movie inside of a movie about making a movie, like a fake movie. You know what I mean? Like like you ever seen Funny People where Adam Sandler has a bunch of the fake trailers in that?
Oh yeah.
This movie feels like it would be a fake trailer in some other movie, but it's a whole movie.
I get you.
It is so on the nose with shit, yet batshit crazy, and I use that with all puns intended. I loved it. I fucking loved it.
Tom's like, I loved it.
I loved it. I like how bad it was. I mean, it is fucking horrible. It is a bad movie, but it's one of those. It's so bad. It's good. Yes, it's definitely a mystery science theater type movie, Joe.
That would be great.
Exactly. It is one of those. It is just the way that the dialogue is delivered, the way that everything is handled. I mean, the pitch meeting for this must have been like, okay. Picture you got Dracula meets Dr. Frankenstein, right? But we're making him a hero. We're going to give him weird fucking powers. We're going to make it batshit fucking crazy. I'm in.
Sold.
Better yet, it's a Marvel movie.
And
awesome.
you know what?
Sold. Double sold.
We'll get Jared Leto as the lead.
He can't fuck up another comic book movie. The odds are with him.
At this point, it's Marvel. Who cares? I mean, you can't get any worse. So
Exactly. It was just like, yeah, exactly. Like, my God, who ever thought this feels like something written in 1992?
That's what I was going to say. It felt like a 90s
it was a
superhero
spin-off
flick.
from Blade.
Oh, it's worse than that, though. That's the problem. It feels like it, though. That's the thing. It's
like Blade 3.
Take all the worst things from Blade, the Blade movies, and all the worst things from Spawn, basically.
Oh,
mix
Spawn
in
adaptation. Yikes.
Yeah, mix in some Dracula and Frankenstein in this, and that's what you got. Because, I mean, the storyline is basically that. It's Dr. Frankenstein meets Dracula. You know, you got the scientist who, you know, has the ambition. He wants to get the cure-all, end-all diseases kind of thing. And he finds the cure in bats. And, of course, him doing what he did turns him into a vampire. So you actually even have a scene, because he ends up doing this on a boat so he can do it in international waters. So it's not, you know, because it's illegal.
Yeah.
So he ends up killing the entire fucking crew, just like Dracula did. In the boat. So you've got both of those like the whole kind of like vibe with that, and then the whole like thing with the lost love, or the you know the love he can't have, and then you got his best friend who's also, you know, his best frenemy kind of thing set up in that. It is every bad cliche from every bad 90s horror or a comic book movie mixed with every bad, you know, gothic horror film element mixed with like Blade kind of shit. It's so bad. It is so bad. And then when he finds out he can just kind of like fly for no good fucking reason, that's even better.
I gotta know. Did they do a nod to the cartoon, the Spider-Man cartoon, Morbius guy?
I'm not 100% sure because
in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, he couldn't drink blood. He had to drink plasma, and he did it through like holes in his hand.
No, he didn't do it that way.
I was wondering,
but they do set up
nod
this
to
whole
that.
thing after he kills that whole crew of guys. He's like, I can't do that again, you know. So he starts drinking because he's most famous in this movie for creating a synthetic blood.
Right.
So that sets it up that he can drink this synthetic blood instead of killing people. And he's drinking it, but he finds out that it's losing its effect. Like quickly, like he goes from being able to make it 6 hours without it to 4 hours without it to 2 hours without it within a matter of days kind of thing. So like every 2 hours he's got to consume blood. And then of course, like there's so much more to it. I'll get into more on your show tonight, Greg.
Yeah.
Because that's when I get into the more batshit crazy stuff. But Gizmo Hunter says, do you think Cool World will ever come out from Shout? Seems MIA after announcement. I think this is one Kino Lorber stole.
I was going to say, I could have sworn maybe I just heard something about Cool World.
I was going to say, I think the last time we talked about it, I think Kino Lorber was the name that came up. And I know Bakshi has been teasing some Cool World shit for a while. As far as we know, it does have a 4K master.
Yeah.
And it has never been released on Blu-ray. It has never been released on Blu-ray, so that would fall in that category. And that would be a 90s movie, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't that come out in 90, 91?
Yeah.
Or was it 89?
It might have been like...
It was right on the heels of Roger Rabbit.
I remember watching it in the 90s. Yeah, and I remember thinking...
92.
Kim Basinger was smoking hot.
Yep, 92. So that's very likely going to be one of those... I would not be surprised in the least if that's one of the next Kino Lorber ones that's announced.
It surprised me.
Kino's been stealing a lot of them from Criterion and Shout.
Mm-hmm.
So they even stole Invasion of the Body Snatchers from Shout.
Yes. When does that come out? Because I've been wanting to get that.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh, like,
4K.
no, that's out. That's out.
Yeah.
With Donner Sullivan.
Just wait till the next sale. Unless you really want the case. I don't know if they got the slip case anymore.
Yeah.
But.
I was thinking Invaders from Mars is what I was thinking. The original.
Are you... Not
the
original.
Yeah, Kino's doing it on 4K.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not doing the Tobe Hooper remake from '86, though, are they?
No, they're doing the original, and it's like a really. I watched the thing about it, like they're really refixing this up and going back to like the original elements, and like
I want that one though. Yeah.
I think they might even reconstruct the original ending of the movie as well too, because I can't remember where I've seen it, but I heard him, the guy that was, worked on it was talking about how they made him go back and reshoot the ending, and the kid's like a foot taller and he's wearing different clothes and everything. So they might actually have the original ending that they're going to like how you showed me that what's that movie with Orson Welles movie where they put back together?
Oh, Touch of Evil.
Yeah, Touch of Evil, like how they have the one they released in theaters, but also the one where they refix it as Orson Welles' vision. Yeah. I think they're doing that with Invaders from Mars.
From Mars,
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. When is Criterion going to do Super Mario Brothers? Never. I could see Arrow or Shout doing Super Mario Brothers. Your best bet now would be to import. I can't remember who did it. But it's region locked, unfortunately. So you have to have a region free player or to be able to rip it from a Blu-ray. But it's out there in HD. Let me put it that way. But there's a pretty decent special edition from overseas, but I don't think it would be cool to see it in 4K.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, there's a couple of Disney titles from that era, regardless of the movie themselves, that would look great in 4K. And one of them is that, and Dick Tracy. Would look amazing in 4K. Judge Dredd's another one that would look awesome in 4K.
I am the law.
I am the law. Yeah. Is Umbrella's version region free? Like the one I have has all the special features, but it's region locked. So I have to watch it with my region free player.
I think most of the Umbrella titles are region free, aren't they?
I don't know if I thought mine was Umbrella, but maybe I got mine long enough ago, because now I got mine so long ago, maybe it is, because then I remember Zavvi did release a steelbook of it here like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now that one might have been open region, but I would be surprised if it was, because for some reason that movie is one of the ones I know I have to watch on my other player. So I don't know which version I got, but it has like a behind the scenes featurette on it. It has a whole hour documentary on it. A couple other things, I think. Oh, really, CS? I watched it not too long ago on Blu-ray, and I was like thinking the whole time, I'm like, God, this would be amazing on 4K. I liked it, but I love the cheesiness of it too. So
yeah, I just looked up Super Mario Brothers. Yes, it did come out from Umbrella, and it is all region.
Oh yeah, what's the special features listed?
Let's see what we got here. This Ain't No Video Game featurette, making of featurette, original electronic press kit with cast interviews and behind the scenes footage, galleries, and extended work print with deleted scenes.
Oh, that one's got the work print on it.
Yeah, it's got the work print.
Shit, send me the link for that one. That's a newer version.
It's out of stock.
You dirty motherfuckers!
I just looked at it on Diabolic DVD. It's out of stock on there. So,
well, maybe I can find it on eBay, but I just want to make sure I find the right one.
There's one more other place I can check real quick. I'll see if they got it. But yes, it's got the work print. So that's I remember whatever happened to like when they found that VHS with all that stuff on it.
That's the one I think it is.
That's one.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think that's the only thing that's not on my other version, though. And I think that's on YouTube. So I don't know. Maybe I won't take the time. Depends on how much it is.
Well, on Diabolic, it was $21.99. So
it was.
It's sold out.
Yeah, exactly.
See it here.
Does anyone remember the Susan Anton movie?
I did found it. On Orbit DVD has it for $19.99, and it's in stock.
Never heard of them. Send me the link in the private chat here or on Twitter. Does anyone remember the Susan Anton movie Golden Girl, 1979? Studio Canal is doing a 4K restoration August 16th. No, I don't remember that one. And there was another question about if there's any Borman films coming to 4K. I'm trying to think. I could have swore. Why do I feel like there was one that was announced recently? But I'm not sure on that. Let me look here. Spell it right. Oh, I remember bitching. I remember now bitching about Deliverance not getting a 4K.
Oh yeah.
I've heard some rumbling rumors about Zardoz. Other than that, maybe Excalibur at some point here. I don't see anything else though that's ringing a bell, and we still haven't even got Exorcist 1, so I highly doubt we're getting Exorcist 2 unless Shout goes out of their way because they just released it recently. But I believe that was from a brand new 2K scan, so there's no sense in them doing a 2K scan if somebody's going to turn around and do a 4K scan of it. Yeah. Have we talked about the Good, Bad, and Ugly 4K release a long time ago? I talked a little bit about it. I said I wasn't as impressed with the transfer as I was hoping I would be. First of all, it doesn't have any HDR on it, but regardless of that, I didn't find the picture to be that much of an upgrade over MGM's extended cut they released. Maybe it's just me, but wasn't as impressed. The color timing's a little better, and it does have, I guess, a little bit more clarity to it, but not as impressed as I was hoping I would be with that one. And I haven't cracked into the first two films that just recently got released either yet, so I can't speak to that. But I did get, I did finally get Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 4K.
Oh, did you get the German one?
Yeah, and I compared it next to the other one.
How'd it look?
HDR does add a little bit better clarity to it, not like over the top. So I mean, I can't say like, oh, if you gotta have this one, you know, like kind of thing. If you have the other one, you're fine. But if you haven't got it yet, they just put it, I think it's still available now, and it's in a basic cover, not the steel books that it was before. And it's definitely, I think, a decent price. So you might even be able to get it through Amazon as far as that goes. But yeah, it's a really nice
somebody
upgrade.
Else is doing another one of that too, ain't they? I can't remember who it was.
Oh, that's right. We were hearing that we might even get a stateside release of it anyway, which I'm assuming it's going to be the exact same scan.
Probably.
So, I think I'm trying to think, did they add anything to this one this time though? I don't think they did. What were you saying, Valiant? Oh, that wasn't Valiant? Okay. I thought I heard him say something.
No. I'm sorry. I had to mute the mic. The dog started going nuts.
Oh, no problem. Coming in September, we're getting a 90th anniversary of Joan Crawford pre-code movie Rain, and it's going to be the 94-minute complete cut according to QTcast TV. Thank you for that. I'm not even sure if they have the negative anymore, John, for Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That's the other thing. So I'm kind of torn between, do I want to watch the theatrical cut and a semi decent 4K or watch the extended cut in 2K, and it looks pretty much the same to me almost. But yeah. And I don't think I've seen. I don't know if you guys had any more questions for us today. I know we're going to try and wrap this up before too late.
I do. So, if anybody bought Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer from Arrow, they put out a thing because their discs were messed up on that.
They got it. Did they finally got it fixed, or what?
Yeah, they. Let me bring this up for you because I didn't know if I should bring this up or not, but just in case, while you look for questions, I'll read this for everybody.
All right.
Let me find it. From Arrow and Zavi, we are pleased to let you know that your replacement disc for Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is being processed and will be shipping over the next few days. Arrow, Zavi, and all other replacement applications so far have been processed in 3 separate batches. If you have applied for replacement based on purchases from varying retailers, you may receive separate shipments. So there's that.
All right. I did not get it yet, so I'll just kind of hold off a little bit and hopefully get a fixed version.
There you go. Just in case. I mean, I didn't know if anybody had it or not.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, Valiant. Unless there was something else that you saw in the chat you wanted to address, or
No.
anything you watched this week that you wanted to discuss, or
I would just say real briefly, I've been enjoying the conversation. I've been kicking back and listening. And the Untouchables. I think I brought this up last week. Yeah, I got the Untouchables. I finally got a chance to watch it. It really looks great.
The fucking sound, dude.
Dude, I've heard amazing things about that.
The remastering of the soundtrack on there is just immediately noticeable.
The music, that moment, the music kicks in the beginning there, you're just like, holy shit, because it's just like...
They did a lot of channel separation there. They really spent a lot of time isolating the original audio tracks, but that original, grinding piano, that pizzicato starts in the beginning. And then, of course, you got the main overture, which is one of the most beautiful scores, in my opinion, ever written for a movie. The main title overture for that film it just sounds incredible. And the picture's amazing. Definitely visually a big upgrade over the last Blu-ray that came out now. It's maybe, I don't know, 10 years, whatever it's been.
At least it was the last anniversary or whatever. Yeah, definitely 5 or 10. Yeah,
big step up. The color saturation is much better. The detail, especially in the costumes. You had those herringbone patterns and some of the things in the suits in the 1930s that really sticks out. But the HDR grading, especially in some of those scenes with a lot of shadows, really looks beautiful.
The night scenes look great too. Yeah,
the night scenes look incredible. The detail is no longer crushed like it used to be, and just basically bottomed out in shadow. The HDR really managed to preserve a lot of that detail, that shadow detail. So overall, very happy with it. I've always enjoyed that movie. Not maybe one of my favorite. I'll put it that way. One of my favorite De Palma films.
Yeah, one of his better ones for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot, but yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, I was very impressed with the scan we got. I mean, I had the digital version in 4K, and I watched it not too long ago, like a couple of years ago when it first dropped. And this was obviously an improvement, but the sound to me was the bigger.
Oh God!
Improvement, because the one that was on digital just has the classic 5.1 mix, which is great in and of itself. But like you said, as soon as that score hits, I could hear it just kind of. It felt like it just grew past the ceiling, like I have the Atmos. So
big
like,
time.
It was amazing.
I think I'm agree with you. That blew me away almost as well, at least as much as, if not perhaps more than the image itself.
The image does look good, though. I mean, they did a good job. I mean, for the most part, it's like, I think when I talked about it last week on Greg's show, I think it was like, I said, at least 80 to 90% of the negative they had for it. So it's really good quality. There's a couple shots they didn't, and clearly like transition shots and titles and stuff like that. But still, you'll have that. But no, it was a great transfer. First thing I thought, though, was, Jesus, Kevin Costner was that young?
No shit.
Because you got to remember, this is one of his earlier movies. This was 87, I think it was.
Yeah, 87.
Yeah, it was before. It was between a couple of his earlier pictures, like
right
Silverado and
Dreams.
Yeah, it was right in between Field of Dreams and Silverado, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it was like his first big starring role too, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I think Field of Dreams was the year before.
Was it? Are you sure? Because I think Field of Dreams was 88.
Was it? You might
I
be
think
right.
so. Because they put him up with Sean Connery in this one, because that's the whole thing.
Yeah, Sean Connery.
They
Robert
used Sean
De Niro.
Connery really to sell the picture. It's like,
Yeah. But, Connery was really
you're a
fun
mucker
in-
with a G.
Yeah. Field of Dreams was 89. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it was 88 or 89, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Dances was 90.
Dances with Wolves was 90, and then you had Robin Hood in 91,
Everything
92.
I do.
I do it for you.
I love that movie. It's so
Waterworld was
cheesy good.
94, I think, or 95. It was Waterworld.
Yeah, that was later.
That came out on 4K Blu-ray, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I bought it
Leave it
last
to
night.
Runner to
You
tell
remember
us
when
that.
that movie was the most expensive one that they'd
Yep.
ever done, and it was just
Yep.
because it was a production hell disaster. Actually,
Well,
I
it was
don't even-
because they had one of the sets fell apart on them or whatever it was. They had the biggest
they
tank
had a
built.
typhoon come through and wreck
Yeah.
the set.
They had the biggest tank
Or
built
something
ever
like
in
that.
Hollywood at that time. At that time, before Titanic, mind you, for the water. And you're right, a typhoon came through and busted it open, and it flooded like a quarter of the town or some shit like that. It was bad. And that movie cost so much money. It did eventually, I think, make a profit, but barely.
I think back in the day, I want to say that after the overruns, it was like 150, 175 million, which
Something
in
like that, yeah.
In 93, 94, when they were shooting that, was enormous.
Oh yeah, because Terminator 2 was the biggest one before that. Was like
100.
I think it was 100 flat,
T2
or
was like 95 or 100.
I was like, yeah, I was gonna say 75, but you might be right. It might be closer to 100. And I think when it was all said and done, Waterworld with the advertising was like $200+ million.
Oh,
I want to say it was like 205.
I think.
Yeah, I think they spent like 35 million on the advertising campaign for that.
Well, P&A
Because that was
back in those days
pre-Godzilla.
was cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pre-Godzilla, which Godzilla was the biggest one when that came out, and then I believe Phantom Menace beat Godzilla the year after that. Because Godzilla, I think, was the first $100 million campaign, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they didn't spend that
was,
much.
98?
Yeah, and that was huge.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've talked to Andre about doing a whole video just on how to make a movie a hit, no matter what. Godzilla wrote the book on that, and that worked for many years for him until the fans got wise. And the thing is the internet came into play, because then we had the rooms we could go into and say, "Don't go see that."
Yeah.
Right.
Because we all got tricked into going to see Godzilla that first weekend.
Tell me about it. I went and saw it myself.
Yep.
One of the best marketing campaigns ever. I mean, they had everybody just jazzed to go see that fucking movie. It was like,
Well, the funny thing is, some of the studios, they still try to pull that off, and they just hope that enough people will run in there up front, and they can get huge opening weekends, and then they know the roll off is going to be higher than average. But again, this is why I mean movie theaters are not handing out special contracts, like they did years ago for some of these things that they thought were going to be hits, where they would cough up these massive amounts of revenue sharing to the studios on opening weekend and shit. Those days are over, y'all.
yeah. Well, Godzilla was like, whoever came up with that campaign was like, what is the biggest movies of the last 20 years? Somebody goes, E.T., Independence Day. That's right. What we're going to do is we're going to take the E.T. campaign. We're going to do for Taco Bell what E.T. did for Reese's Pieces. And then we're going to take the Independence Day campaign, and we're going to merge the two of them. You watch. That's exactly what they fucking did. And it worked like gangbusters. Like, it worked. It worked. They made almost, I think it was the biggest opening of all time in that time that weekend came out. I'm pretty sure until Phantom Menace came along. So I think it made $65 million. I think Phantom Menace did like 90 or something like that. Or maybe even Godzilla did like 75 million. It did a buttload its first weekend. That's not counting the worldwide. That's just counting the U.S. box office. Vincent Repeat says, what non-region 4K media player do you use to watch 4K content at home? Well, fortunately, almost all 4K discs to this point have been region free. They have not done any region locking that I know of. There's, I guess, some out there that have, according to people, but I'm not aware of which ones they are.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah,
And as far as that goes, I'm not aware if there is a region-free 4K player yet, but I got to assume there is. And honestly, I found mine just by searching on Amazon and going through the reviews.
Yeah.
To be honest.
That started back in the days when DVDs came out in 97, 98.
Yeah, it was bigger with DVD. Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, there was a lot of disparity between film releases, secondary market releases, things like that. That has all changed with the digital age.
Right.
And there's a few places out there that still restrict things. I was reading an article actually just the other day talking about this. France is one of those. Like you cannot put a movie onto streaming in France within, I think it's 12 months or 18 months of its release in cinemas. And that's
do not put your stinking movie on our streaming service.
Yeah, that's why they're trying to protect their theatrical releases and theater owners. And I think because there was an issue with, I was reading something on Doctor Strange and Disney Plus and things like that, and then some other movies that had recently come out, and I had never read that anywhere before. But I mean, that's kind of why they did the regional thing. With France being kind of an exception at this point, or one of the rare exceptions at least, that's why they've kind of gone region-free on the physical media.
Yeah, the only time regions really come into play now is if it's different companies own the rights to different things in different areas, right?
Exactly. It's about international distribution.
Exactly.
Generally speaking, when it comes to physical media, they've tended to unify that. Now, streaming is totally different.
That's a completely
this
different animal.
Just physical media we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you'll have, for instance, Studio Canal will release a movie overseas, and then Shout or whatever company owns the rights over here will release it, right?
Yeah.
We saw Arrow released, but then again, sometimes they'll even get Arrow to release both, because Arrow did the UK and the US version of Flash Gordon, for instance.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It
so
wasn't worth the cost. It just wasn't where, I mean, trying to break up, we have one movie we have to separate into 7 different regions. That means 7 different disc manufacturing processes with different coding for copyright protection and region separation and all this crap.
And I'm sure it costs a little extra to get that put on, too.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, it's not worth it. Not in this day and age.
Most of the time anymore, Disney, when they do a disc, it'll be for every single. That's why when you first put in their discs anymore, you get the boom, and it'll say, "Which country are you watching this in?"
Yeah, you had to do that with Untouchables. You had to tell it, where are you? I want English.
That means it's completely region free at that point. That means the same disc is being released worldwide.
Yep.
Basically. And other than that,
what menu you want.
Other than that, I'll usually see more issues on discs that are imported that are stuff that's like more like a foreign film, right? Like I know a lot of people had issues like that was you brought up DVDs back in the day, Valiant. That was most people I knew who had region-free players was for their anime.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get a lot of anime stuff here in the US, or it was a different version, so they wanted the imported version, so they would buy a region-free player and they'd have, stacks and stacks of anime DVDs imported.
No, you're right. I remember that because I can't remember what region Japan and all that was. It was like whatever it was, but I mean, I remember late 90s, early 2000s, like especially when eBay was just becoming a thing. I remember seeing...
See, I think region 1 and 0 are interchangeable for Japan to where like we're technically on the same region coding, but if they want something to where we can't watch it, they'll put it under like region 0 or some shit like that.
Yeah,
it's some fucked up thing.
But
they
I
do
remember
over
those
there,
players on eBay because I remember looking at them. And I mean, this was this was like when eBay was just starting to be a thing. And maybe into the early mid 2000s, and you still had those region coded DVD players for that. But yeah, you could go find like Japanese region coded DVD player from Sony or something like that. You'd have to go buy it that way.
And this is specifically one of the reasons why Japan went with region 1 like we did, because they don't use PAL. PAL would be most of region 2, and then I think region 3 is either. Is that South America or?
I don't remember anymore.
Because then region 4 and 5 are.
Most of Europe was PAL, and then
because 5 I think is Australia and 4 might be Germany. I can't remember exactly, but like there's only like 8 regions I think altogether, codings. If you add 0, that means 9 I think. So, but yeah. Oh, they were Region 2. Okay, so they were Region 2. I knew they were close to 1, but they sometimes they release a lot of Region 1 stuff too. Because like we're very interchangeable with our electronics. Like Japan has always been pretty interchangeable, like with US electronics. That was their whole goal. So, but Region 4 is Australia, and Region 3 it looks like too. That's a plausibility. Sometimes there's 2 different regions depending on where you're at. I think Canada even has 2 different regions depending because of the French Canada and other region too. So, okay, 4 is Australia and South America. Sometimes it varies, but yeah, like it'll say on the disc. And sometimes I've even had discs that'll come in, they'll say they're region coded, and they're not. All the imprint ones I get brought in are not. Not a single one has been yet. Now, people have said most of the Umbrella ones are. I believe they are, except for their earlier ones, because I am like 99% positive I have to use my player to watch Punisher and Super Mario Brothers. So the older Umbrella titles, I'm pretty sure are region locked, because those are both Umbrella releases from my recollection. So, but outside of that, I don't really have to use my region free player all that much. The one I've been using lately on it has been the Hulk, because I got the imported Hulk before the new one came out. So I've been using it to watch that. Outside of that, I haven't had to use it in a while. So part of Canada's Region 1, yes. This is true. But I don't know if they have the other region in the other area. Yeah, it's region. I'd have to look it up. They used to put it in this brochure thing I used to get. But anyhow, weekly viewing of Super Mario Brothers? I don't know about that.
It's very steampunk.
Yeah. So anyhow, I think we're going to wrap this up here, kids. We're here reaching an hour. You guys have been a great audience. We reached 150 viewers here. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hopefully, we'll have some more news for you guys in a week. Now we'll see you in 2 weeks from now. Sometimes we take a week off, just depending. But since it's summertime now, I think Valiant's more free. So
yeah, little bit easier. So
yeah. With that, you can follow up with me on Greg's channel, Fanzine, later on. The link is in the description. Also, check out Valiant's channel. You got anything coming up, you guys, Greg, besides your show tonight?
I just released a video today, but it's an unboxing. But no, other than that, just a show tonight at the moment.
Alrighty. Valiant, you got anything special coming up?
There's a few things in my mind I got to get to. When I'm going to do it, I don't know. But at least, if nothing else, probably tomorrow or Friday, I'll have a video out about the upcoming box office this weekend. We're going to be looking at what we think Lightyear is going to do. Hint, it's not tracking as well as Disney's hoping. Other than that, of course, you can always find me on OnlyFans. It's good to see everybody. And, so.
And Vincent Repeat lives up to his name. Changing the question just a little bit, what 4K player do you use to watch 4K content at home? Greg, let's start with you.
I got a Sony one, so that's just, I don't know like the full details, but I know it's one of the better ones that I read about. So
it's probably one of the same one I got, like the XBP 100 or something like the 700.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. X something.
It's the Walmart special one.
Yeah,
basically.
It was the Walmart one. Yep.
The price to value, you really can't beat those Sony ones.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's why I got it.
Valiant, how about you?
Okay, so the one in the living room, like the family room, is an Uppo UDP 203.
Yep.
And the one on my quote-unquote reference system here in the office is the Uppo UDP 205.
I also have the Toshiba one, but I don't know what model it is.
Yeah, I did the super duper Uppo one for that because I wanted it also to be a high-end audio player as well. So
nice.
Yeah. Or not Toshiba. I'm sorry, it's LG, I believe. LG, I think it is, or whatever. Panasonic, LG, one of those two. It's up here with the 3D player, but I don't know what it is.
Panasonic has always made very good optical players. They always had some of the best Blu-ray players, and I think they still have some of the very best 4K players out there again.
Yeah, and the Xbox ain't too bad either. So it's not horrible. It's one of the cheaper ones out there. But all right, kids, let's wrap this up. And instead of ending with our normal thing, I'm going to end with this. So do check out the link in the description if you're interested. Would you like a way to commemorate the Deuce Drop heard around the world? That's right, get your Amber's Turd t-shirt today from mixtees.com and Midnight's Edge. A limited edition print from acclaimed artist Not Some Kid. Get it now for a limited time. Put in the term turd at checkout and save 10%. This is going away fast, kids, so get it now while it lingers.